What were you up to earlier today?
I didn't do much today. Is this better? Yeah. I did. I got up. I was just visiting my family in Detroit yesterday. So I flew in last night and then yeah, I got up and had like a little routine and went out and got a coffee and then got like a bagel. It was more of a donut. But yeah, and then now I'm here.
Nice. What
Yeah.
is your routine?
I wake up and then honestly every day starts with like an antidepressant. I take a little antidepressant, and then I get dressed, brush my teeth. Honestly, I need to eat a little bit, and I need to get some coffee, and then I'm ready to go.
Nice.
So I'm pretty easy to please. Like really, like I
Every
don't need a
morning,
lot to get
just get
up.
your stuff together and then you're ready to
Yeah,
rock.
yeah. Then I'm ready to go.
Nice. Cool. Well, then let's get started here.
Sweet.
Hey everyone, welcome to Nashville Artist. I'm Jordan, and today Bennett, Iowa is here today.
Hello.
Thank you for coming over to my house.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, where are you from?
I'm from the Metro Detroit area in Michigan. Um, I grew up off of 10 Mile Road.
Oh
So
wow, close to 8 Mile
a little
Road.
bit, yeah. So I mean, it's the town is called Royal Oak, but it's one of those things that you just kind of say Metro Detroit, otherwise nobody really knows what you're talking about.
Wow, I've
So
never been there.
it's nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's close to the zoo.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's where I went with my family the other day, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your favorite animal you saw there?
Honestly, I'm a big otter fan, but the otters were like not there for some
Oh,
reason. Yeah, they're like out of exhibit. I like the cassowary.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they're cool.
Dude,
So
those
cool.
are intense.
Yeah.
They're like velociraptors.
No, they look like dinosaurs. Like their feet are oh, blow my mind. Yeah, yeah, and they can only
Yeah.
be like one in an enclosure because they're like, yeah, they're like territorial and
Dude,
but yeah, they look at you and they have like blood red eyes. They're so cool.
wow.
So that was my favorite probably.
Yeah, they're kind of like ostriches.
Yeah, they're like littler. We saw ostrich too. There was a
They're
lot of like,
they stand like 5'11", right?
yeah,
Five.
they're pretty.
They're
Yeah,
pretty high.
yeah, it was cool. I mean, the Detroit Zoo kind of has like, there's a lot of animals kind of in the same enclosure as other animals, so it kind of is like a like
Togetherness.
yeah, and also what's the word like I spy almost, to like look around and find
Oh,
everything.
wow.
Um but yeah, it was a hot day, so pretty much everyone was in their little like plates of shade. So
Wow.
yeah, it was a fun day though.
That's cool. So, what was it like living? What is where you're from like?
So basically, I mean, growing up, I had a lot of. I mean, Detroit is the city of like techno and electronic music.
Oh wow.
So from early ages, like pretty much my entire high school career, I got a job and paid all my money to gas and concert tickets. And I would just go with whatever show that was playing in downtown or close by that said EDM or electronic, we're going.
Oh,
So I saw a lot of techno. I saw a lot of, and we didn't really even listen to the music beforehand. It just said electronic, and we're gonna go. So you would show up, and it would be either techno or house or dubstep or like future bass or like club kind of mixes, and we would just go and enjoy all of it live, and it was so amazing.
wow.
Yeah. So that was a lot of my upbringing. I mean, um,
Well, what was you said you had two older brothers, right?
yeah, yeah. So we played. I mean, we're all kind of like a musical-ish family, so we all played like instruments all up until high school and things like that. Me and my one brother did choir. So, but there's not that much. I knew I didn't want to play clarinet my whole life, or
Yeah.
I played violin for a little bit. They both played.
What are their names?
Tom is my oldest brother, and then Jack is my middle brother.
Oh,
So, they played like trumpet and clarinet. So they went into like the band
hmm.
direction, but I was different. So I went into violin, and then switched to clarinet in high school because it was available. But I learned it over the summer because I really wanted to be in the marching band. I thought it would be really cool. So yeah, we would just kind of pick up instruments. Our house was kind of still full of like little weird like harmonicas and like jaw harps and like melodicas and things like that. Um,
Jaw harps.
yeah, it's like you put it in your mouth, and it's actually quite dangerous. Like if you mess it out enough, it'll like crack your teeth. But it's kind of this vibrating kind of almost like tuning fork that you
Wow.
pluck. Yeah. So my brother had one of those. I was always too chicken to touch it because the fear of like missing teeth. But um, yeah, we were just like that's what we pretty much did a lot growing up. We would just mess around with instruments and play video games and try to learn video game music on them. Um, yeah, that was a big thing. Was like you know playing games or listening to like uh music on the radio and trying to like figure out how it works on like a melodica or a harmonica or like out of tune piano in our living room.
Wow.
Yeah.
What um were your parents musical?
Yeah, my they did more like theater type stuff. My mom got like a degree in acting, like a BFA, and then my father ended up going um to school for like more production, stage production type things. So yeah, I mean, they love musicals and they love like high camp kind of productions and things like that. My mom loves opera. She works she for a while was not like working in music or anything like that, but now she works at the Detroit Opera House,
Wow.
more in like a production role. But and then my dad doesn't really do anything in music, but he is a great enjoyer of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he likes he just recently got a record player, or he's going to. So I've been buying him a lot of ones from like McKay's
Oh
and like
yeah.
sending him down or
I
when I
love
visit.
McKay's.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any he has more like eclectic tastes. He likes kind of like more folk
Oh yeah.
style type music like
Neil Young.
yeah, I mean he likes like Fiona Apple as well.
Oh
Like he's a big Fiona Apple fan and things like I mean, he likes Sheryl Crow. I feel like if I found like a Bjork, I think he would really enjoy that. Um, yeah, he has like every once in a while he comes up with a music taste that I'm like, I didn't think you would enjoy that, but we have that in common, you
oh
know?
yeah.
Yeah. Whereas my mom will like, if she has the aux, we'll put on some kind of like full Italian opera piece, and we just have to be there like, okay. Just like I have no idea what they're saying, but I can tell there's feeling there, you know?
Right. When so when you first started playing music and stuff, like what video games were like your main inspiration, or like what were there any artists that you're like, wow, they're really cool, I want to make music like that? Or
In terms of like video games, I think I mean, the ones that I played were, you know, like Kirby and a lot of those Pokemon games are just like a 16 bar loop of like 8-bit, sounds. So you would hear it was really easy to pick out like a motif or something like that that would come in and out and change over time. I really, really liked I played Pikmin a lot too. I'm a Pikmin fan.
Pikmin?
Yeah, it's like this Nintendo game. They're coming out with a new one soon, but it's like um I guess it's more like an orchestral sound, but it's that same thing where it's like 30 seconds of the same kind of song that just goes and repeat. I liked music from that one a lot. In terms of artists I really liked, I mean, I ones that really made me like what's the word? Like radicalized to production and that I really needed to like I really, really wanted to make a sound like that was this artist called Um
Res?
yeah, and she's this Canadian dubstep producer and I mean honestly, like looking back, I saw her live in like I think 2016 or 2017 when I was already really into music, but I had never seen like a non male like uh producer or like performer in like the electronic scene before.
Oh yeah.
Um, to see her do it and the way she makes music is so like it's amazing. It's like it's like mid-tempo dubstep, spooky ooky. Like I think that's what space, like the depths of space sound like. Like it's so dark and creepy and weird, and it really kind of like rocked my world. Like it was like that really made me realize that just seeing someone up there that was weird and also, you know, was so like aggressively themselves was something that like sticks with me to this day. I love that. I love that woman. She's my favorite.
Wow.
Yeah. So that really got me into like thinking that I could perform that kind of style of music, or even just anything in the electronic vein. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about this earlier, but why would you say you're drawn to making music and singing?
Um, I think there's something about, I mean, performance that's very fun. There's something about how, like, I think composition that's very like, I like making things my own. Um, I like the aspects of it of having something, being able to bend a song in a way that you can perform it live that feels very like kinetic. Um, in terms of singing, I mean, I just love singing. It's very fun. Um, but you know what I kind of realized when I was at Berkeley was that um, you know, just being able to sing wasn't really going to get me anywhere. That was kind of something I learned very quickly. There was like a culture there around, you know, uh, I wasn't like an instrumentalist. I didn't get in for instruments. I got in for voice. And what I really, really wanted to throw myself into was production, because I really wanted to be able to be self sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Something that was really important to me is being able to have control over my own sound and how it works instead of having to, um, I don't know, not rely on anyone, but be able to have work that has my own fingerprint on it in a way that I couldn't have if I wasn't part of every single part of the process.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I don't know if that goes along with the question, but the question was how.
Why are you drawn to
Oh, why am I drawn?
singing and music?
Yeah. I mean, I'm drawn to it because I think it's so fun. I think there's so much to do with it. I think it's an absolute endless rabbit hole that you can throw yourself into for the rest of your life and never find any kind of
Right.
end to it, you know? Um, it's never ending, you know? Like I don't see myself really getting bored with it. Um, I mean, there's so much possibility. I think it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your latest EP, I'm guessing you did that what at home?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that process?
It was pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say easy. What I ended up doing with that EP specifically is in the past I'd use a lot of you know, like splice samples basically, or you know, you sign up for a subscription, you get, you know, royalty free
Oh
tracks
yeah.
that you can. But basically, what I was doing was finding tracks on there and then um, pitching them high and low, warping them, making them, clipping them, basically just resampling every single thing to make it what I wanted. Whereas with this EP, I ended up reaching out to a bunch of the friends that I made in Nashville and getting my own recordings of exactly what I wanted. So in one of the songs, in the grass, I ended up getting my own um, specific electric guitar samples, my own bass samples, my own, you know, a lot of guitar samples actually that were really, really, really um, that came in a wide variety. And in that way, I felt like I had a little bit more control over um, the actual like riff, I guess. So that was something that I was really proud of, is being able to kind of collect my own amount of samples instead of just finding a guitar sample and then reworking it finding like a clip of, one sound that sounds really good or one note, and then having to, um, you know, pitch it up like a ton of times, like make like an arpeggiation where I just have to like duplicate it like 16 times in a measure, and then, uh, transpose it to make it sound what I want. Instead, I didn't have to do all that work. I just had to kind of take it and
Collect the samples and kind of mix them and
yeah, and like yeah, stretch them, pitch them up and down. Some of them I like to slow down to like half tempo and layer it over one that's at like the exact tempo, or maybe it creates this really, really cool delay kind of sound effect. You pretty much just have to go in and find the little EQ pitches that kind of uh, interrupt each other,
wow.
and like, what's the word? It's like, um, there's a word for it. Basically, just uh, when you layer two of the same exact audio samples over one another, sometimes they'll interact in a weird way and kind of phase, like they'll phase in and out in a weird way.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, what was really cool about this EP is that it was, I mean, I wanted to also make a bunch of variety of sounds as well. A lot of them, I mean, one of them is kind of a more like punk rock type song, and then, but it still has those like electronic, like arcade retro video game type samples in it, which keeps it kind of grounded in my own sound. But I was, I kind of wanted to branch out a little bit from my usual like lo-fi, like indie pop style, and just kind of see how far I can push it. And still, you can, what like unites them all is that you can tell that I made them all,
Yeah.
that they're all like me, even though they're a little bit different in their general sound.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to make a little smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm proud of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was listening to it and I was like, man, the atmosphere to these songs, like there's just so much going on. Like I can
Yeah.
feel like I'm inside the Game Boy or something.
Thank you. Yeah, I like, there's something like that you kind of learn in production, like, um, about like filling the space. Um, and sometimes I'll kind of overfill the space a little bit, when you're making just kind of pop tracks, a lot of times you, you know, don't need a ton of melodic um, sounds or like synths and things that go over one another. But I like to layer a lot of like different melodies just to see how they kind of interact with one another, and kind of um, fill the space in a way that keeps part of your brain like I like music where you can listen to it a bunch and notice something different every time.
Yeah.
Like that's one
Yeah.
of my favorite aspects of, like, I listen to a lot of like K-pop, like bubblegum type K-pop, like really like fast like arpeggiations and like crazy 808s, and uh, there's so much going on all the time, and like I've had friends that I play these songs for, and they're like just overstimulated. I can't handle it. But it feels like every part of my brain. Like I feel like I can listen to it over and over again and like only focus on one arpeggiation, or listen to the 808s and how or hear a sample that's somewhere like deep, deep, deep in there, and you wouldn't listen to it. You wouldn't hear it the first time. Um
There's
so
just
yeah,
so much to take
there's so
in.
much to take in, and it's so like it's fast paced, and like um, yeah, there's just so much there. So I like to bring that into my own work, where you can listen to it and listen to it, and then maybe there's a soft um, like uh, synth pad or something in the background that you don't really notice, or something pans back and forth, and you don't really, it's not until like you're like 10th listen that you're like, okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird because people also like, I've had people DM me and be like, "Oh, did you do this, this, and this?" I'm like, maybe, yeah, yeah. But I made it a while ago. But
When
they're
they ask what?
like, whether like if I did, oh, did you pan this here at this time and
Oh,
this
I
pair
see.
at that time? did you pitch this up and that down? I'm like, probably. I don't know. When I do it, I'm just kind of like, okay, this sounds good. Moving on.
Right.
I'll pitch up and down um, hi-hats to create variation. I kind of just taught myself when I taught myself Ableton, I didn't do anything in MIDI. I just did audio. So um, it was like I just went crazy. Like I don't think the way that I taught myself to do a lot of things is not the conventional way. So when I talk to people about it and like say like, oh, why don't we try this or try that? It's like something that people don't really do, and I just kind of started doing it out of just boredom of being like, okay, how can we um, like I would layer delays and like automate delays to go up and down. They kind of make like a like kind of
Oh, yeah,
sound.
coming in and out.
Yeah. So I do that a lot. Like I like when I started with Ableton as well. There was only um, I only had like the stock audio effects. So I went like crazy with like I went like really really in depth with those and how to automate everything to see what does what in what conditions and how they interact with one another. So I really don't have that many plugins either. I pretty much just stick with the stock ones and um, go like just get weird with them.
Yeah, little mad scientist.
Yeah, I like to. Yeah, there's so much you can do with them, and there's so much like um, I mean, I would love to branch out and get some more. Like plugins are amazing. But yeah, for the most part, I just mess with the stock ones.
Nice.
So yeah.
So, how do you develop your artistic skills, or like, do you have routines, or you talked a little bit about studying at Berkeley and whatnot, but
Um,
now,
now, I like to do covers a lot. I'll try and create a lot of how I keep my mind kind of like occupied is pick a song and then um, try to recreate it. A lot of times with either um, just like I'll try recreate a drum beat with just the splice samples. I'll find a kick that kind of sounds similar, and I'll try to recreate it in a way that sounds very similar. Um, I like to do a lot of like lo-fi cute covers of just like pop songs and things like that. Um, I do some remixes every once in a while. Um, I think mostly it just has to do with um, a lot of times I'll kind of start on something just for fun, and then it kind of becomes like I'll be like, okay, this is a cover of like a Still Woozy song, and then I'll start with so many weird samples and get to a point where it doesn't even follow that chord structure anymore, and it's something completely different, and that kind of can become a song sometimes. Like one of the songs I have called Time Zones started out as a cover of a Still Woozy song that ended up going haywire and becoming something completely its own.
wow,
So yeah.
that is an interesting way to go about it. Like, some people do covers, but then it's awesome that you go and find similar kicks, similar. Because usually people will just play the, instrument to the song or whatever,
Yeah.
but then finding all the elements,
Yeah.
trying to like hear or transcribe, and then be like, I'll go find that sound.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's fun. I feel like it's a little treasure hunt.
Yeah,
Honestly. Like it feels like, going through a ton of like I love just going through kick after kick after kick to find like the exact right one that sounds like just the most. Or one that I've got now that I have like a better like audio setup, I can hear a lot of the low end a lot better. And like layering kicks is so fun, or like layering snares. And because sometimes you listen to a kick and there's like, okay, in order to get that sound, I have to layer something with a really good um, like snap at the beginning. But then in order to have that like little bit of reverb on the end, naturally, I can kind of find a kick that
Tone.
has a little more, a little more give to it. So that way, it can have both at the same time.
Yeah, it has that cut at the front and then
And
the
then it has,
period.
yeah, exactly. Because sometimes you can't, if you take like a reverb to it, it'll kind of muddle that beginning to it, that like that front, like very high end, like,
Yeah.
so you kind of have to like work around it. I think it's a fun little puzzle. I
Wow.
think there's so much you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world of production is like, I mean,
Endless.
you can take any instrument and now multiply it by like 10 million.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah. And there's like, I mean, getting into MIDI as well, like, uh, I'm not really good with like in person synthesizers and things like that, but like the built in like Ableton ones, like I've just spent hours trying to, it's the same thing. It's just on a computer of,
wait, you said it's harder to play the like
yeah, to get
ones?
the actual like effects on it of like a real life synthesizer, but like I've done like Ableton's like operator is kind of like one of their synths. I kind of just learned via that. There's like the wavetable is another type that's on there. Um, yeah, I find that easier. I don't know where to connect any of the wires on an analog synth. I don't know how to. I've watched someone do it. I can't. I never took a class in that. So.
Oh yeah, that's like, I mean, then you have to have all these big bulky.
Yeah, I watched a friend do it. I had a friend that was also taking a lot of electronic classes, and yeah, it's complicated, but it's very cool. Like you put on the headphones, and it's this amazing um, amazing sound. But I never figured out how to do it. So I'll often I'll layer synths as well to try and get a lot of that sound as well, kind of that raw analog.
Oh wow, yeah, the body of it instead of it that like
Yeah, because sometimes you can't. Yeah, because I don't necessarily know how to get all of it together. I mean, you can like mess with like the sine wave of it, but sometimes I'll just kind of like layer some on top of one another, and then see what I can accomplish there and make it more of a well-bodied sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do it with like vocals too sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to try and get.
What's the most you've like 3 vocal tracks on top of each other? Or?
I've done like a lot. Mostly with like main vocals. It's not so many, but I'll often record like there's like I like was like I guess classically trained in high school for like voice. There's this like you can like kind of make round your voice to be different tones. There's like there's a real word for it, but there's like kind of
Is it intonation?
Intonation, yeah. So I will record like the same line with different intonation, like a more like a spread sound versus like an O kind of more classical sound. And then if those all come together and they just sound like a complete, like almost like choir, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. So it doesn't sound like just me singing one part, it's singing kind of like a spread, like an E and then an E and then like a
Kind of covers the spectrum. Or
yeah, so it sounds like it's one voice, but it's three, vocals, but it sounds like it's coming out of just one mouth.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like the kind of like the monk chanting, like
a little
when
bit.
they hit it one note, it's like you can feel the different ranges on the.
Yeah, I think if I didn't have that like beginning stage of production where I just was kind of left to my own and figured things out on my own in a weird way, I don't know if I would have been so creative with it. Because there's so much you can do with vocals. There's so much
No
you
one
can
boxed
do.
you in.
Yeah, because by the time I even got into
dogmatic
class.
ways.
Yeah, there's so many ways. Yeah, there's so many ways you're taught. And there's like industry standards and things like that of, where to, you know, bring out certain sounds in terms of like the hertz and things like that. I'm still kind of getting into that because that's very interesting.
Wow.
But
yeah,
for a while,
kind of beyond it. ear
Yeah.
almost. Like it's
I think it's important. I think I want to like, because for the most part, I do want to get into. I'm not very good at mixing. Just now like getting into mixing, because mostly I would just like produce and then try and have levels where I think they sound good, and then find a friend. But for the most part, or you know, one of my very good friends that will like mix and master for me. They're so talented. Um, yeah, I want to get better into that. But that has to do with all that kind of stuff of like where exactly uh, instruments should sit within the mix in terms of like panning and things like that. It's very intricate.
yeah.
I mean, to this day, I still play a lot of video games, but when I think back on, you know, the times when I've been really, uh, yeah, just comfortable and having a really good time, it's been playing, you know, hours and hours of video game sounds.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Who are some of your like? I guess there's not just artists, but I guess yeah. Who are some of your favorite artists, music and games, or
I really like, well, I like Rez. Rez is probably my number one. Um, I really like, it kind of goes up and down. I like a lot of K-pop. Um, my favorites, that's hard. I really like Twice. Twice is a really cool girl group. Um, I really like Red Velvet. In terms of like other K-pop groups, I really like GOT7. GOT7 is a really cool group. Um, in terms of non-K-pop, I love Muse so much. That's probably one of probably my favorite band of all
really?
time. Yeah, it was something my brother listened to a lot growing up. Um, yeah, so that was one of the and that those music or that their albums have so much interesting instrumentation as well. They kind of go off into um like some of the tracks go off into like a full orchestra, you
Yeah.
know, or they have like a trumpet solo and things like that. So they sound really, really just dynamic. I think. I mean, I've always really, really liked space and things like that. I feel like when I hear Muse, it sounds like some kind of like space rebellion type, you know, because a lot of them are themes of like overthrowing
Right.
and things like that. So I feel like I think of it as like some kind of like space war or something like that, you know, like it.
Space. Yeah, we will overcome.
Exactly, right? Like it feels like to me it just feel it makes me feel so like yeah. Um it's just punk and fun. Yeah, and they also use a lot of as time has gone on have used a lot of electronic um you know I think they have used like MIDI in their live performances and things like that, and I just think they're the coolest.
Yeah, they make a very full sound for just three people.
Yeah, it's like oh, I like want to see them live so bad. Yeah, I love them. For the most part, I listen to like I'm kind of all over the place. I've listened to a lot of Bjork recently. I love Bjork.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Um, I like kind of one. I like listen to like a couple songs from each artist. There's like very rarely an artist that I'm like I'll listen to like every single thing they put out, but like Muse and Rez are definitely my like top two. I'll listen to Mitski. I like Mitski.
Mitski. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, I feel like since I moved down here, it's been a lot more instrumental type music. But I do like to go back to electronic every once in a while. I like Grizz is a really cool one. He's from Detroit. Um, does a lot of cool shows down there.
Were you
Oh, Madeon. I love Madeon.
Maddie on?
Yeah, that's also a big, big, big inspiration for me. If you get a chance, it's like
Okay, I'll
um,
check that out.
this one album called Adventure was came out when I was in high school, and it's like it was one of the like things that really, really got me into the style of like electronic that I make today. Um, yeah, he's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
Maddie on.
yeah.
What about? Do you ever listen to new Radiohead?
Not really, not
No,
really, but I feel like I like
because
I would
like
really
whenever I
enjoy it.
listen to Muse, I feel like they both sound very similar. Radiohead and Muse,
Yeah.
similar feeling. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the vocals or what.
Yeah. Yeah. I've listened to a lot of like that album where it's like it's like orange and has a face
From Muse,
from Radiohead.
Orange and a
It's like
I feel
I
like
can
I
find
should.
it.
I feel like I should know.
I can find it. It's like that's the one I listened to. It's like not like a face. It's like almost like a like silverish impression of a face. I can find it. It's like I have it in my brain, but I can't remember what exact album it was.
Wow. I'll have to check that one out. That's the one you're familiar with?
Yeah.
The one with the face.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Are there any like movies or games that influence that you really like? That are your favorite?
I mean, in terms of movies, I love sci-fi. I love it so much. My parents were like very much into sci-fi. I mean, we have like all our like VHS collection. I had like all those like um Godzilla movies from like the 50s and 60s. All of those. I'd watch those all the time. We had the like Alien trilogy.
Oh yeah.
We had, Star Wars and everything like that. That was like I mean, we had CDs and stuff, but every once in a while I would just like watch all of those. I mean, we had like Pokemon movies as well. But yeah, I love science fiction. I recently get into I mean, they don't really inspire, I guess. I'm just now getting into them, but I do like Cronenberg as well. I think he's really cool.
What is Cronenberg?
That's like the director of like The Fly. And like
I've heard of that.
Yeah, and like his newest one was also very good. Crimes of the Future. Yeah, I mean those movies do inspire me. I like especially in their like scores, I guess. Sometimes they're very minimal and really like in The Thing.
Oh yeah.
That one, the soundtrack is like extremely minimal, but it just like adds the tension like little tiny ways. Yeah, I do a lot of like references to those kind of movies and like photo shoots and things like that. Um, uh, in terms of games,
do you still play games?
yeah, I play. I mean, I play Animal Crossing, of course. The new Pikmin game is coming out like in a little bit, so that's gonna be really exciting. To be honest, I never really played. I really like puzzle games,
Okay.
that kind of thing. So, um, I was never. I mean, growing up, I had my brothers playing like Legend of Zelda and things like that. But the games that I wanted to play were like Pikmin and like, I mean, we would play like Melee together and stuff like that. That's really fun. A lot of the soundtrack from that one is my favorite as well. Yeah.
What forgot to ask, what is your favorite animal?
That's so hard. That's so hard. I probably there's so many good ones. What's your favorite animal?
Lemur.
I saw one of those at the zoo, like a ring-tailed lemur.
Yeah, or
just a lemur.
I love lemurs.
They're
dude,
cool.
I just
Zabumafu. Are you familiar?
Zabumafu.
Zabumafu? Do you know it? It's this show from like the 2000s, like maybe the 90s, 2000s.
I think Zabumafu.
Yeah, it's these two guys, and they have. I mean, it's a sifaka lemur. And basically they have like a real lemur, but then when they like do little segments and stuff, it's like a puppet.
Oh yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's such a good show.
Yeah, that's like my spirit animal.
Yeah. No, they're the ones that like they hop like this. You know
yeah. And they're just, they entertain themselves up in the trees.
Yeah. No, they're hysterical. I think my favorite, I mean, I really love cats, to be honest.
Yeah, I love cats.
I think they're so cool.
God, I love cats.
No, I think those are probably my like absolute favorite, but I'm a big fan of. I'm like drawing a blank right now. There's so many that are so cool. I don't know. I think there's. I probably have like one first favorite, and then the second place is like 100. Like I love sheep.
Oh wow,
I love um I love like penguins. Penguins are really
penguins.
fun. I saw a tiger at the zoo
Oh,
in Detroit, and it was like just like taking a big old nap in the middle of the thing, and it was even just watching them nap is like so majestic and cool
right.
because they're like I don't know 700 pounds, and it's just the only thing between us is like a plane of glass, and it's just napping. Oh,
Napping.
its little tongue was out. Oh, it was so cute.
Its little tongue was
Yeah,
out.
it was
Yeah,
so cute.
yeah. It's not intimidated by us at all.
No, it's just taking a nap. It's like it's hot out. I'm gonna take a nap. So cool.
I also
Yeah.
like foxes.
Yeah, foxes are so cool.
They're really cool.
I think a lot of like I mean, we saw some wolves too. Wolves were really cool.
Oh,
Yeah, like gray wolves. They were like and it's the same thing. They're just running around and, scratching their ears and stuff and just sitting there like
and they
in
just their
awe.
gaze is just
Yeah.
beautiful. Like, oh, they looked at me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, what else? I mean uh oh, like the giant anteater. I think those are so cool too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Animals that like you see them in person, they're like actually so much bigger than you thought they were gonna be are probably I mean, that's not like a class of animals, but that's something I enjoy to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any animals you don't like?
Snakes.
Oh,
Not a
okay.
fan of snakes.
Really?
Uh,
Not even a little bit. Like, would you hold one? Like, is it like the sliminess? You have that?
probably wouldn't hold one. I mean, I'll look at it,
Okay.
but I don't
You
prefer
don't.
not to touch it.
Okay.
I'll touch it to like get over my fear of it, I guess. But
As like a
yeah, but
yeah.
I don't really reptiles are not really. I like mammals more.
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like puffins. I don't like kangaroos.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't.
Like
Like I think I watched Kangaroo Jack like too young.
I would say sharks also freak me
Sharks.
out.
I just saw Jaws for the first time, like
Really?
the other week. Yeah,
How'd you like it?
I think it was great.
Yeah.
It was like that was fantastic. Yeah, no, the score. That's another movie where the score was like
Oh
everything,
yeah.
and the suspense of it all, and like,
Right.
yeah, no, I had never seen it. I
And they
had no
slowly
idea.
reveal him like a shark
Yeah,
or whatever.
and I had heard
Right.
that like they didn't use the shark that often because it was like really expensive and things like that to like have to create this gigantic animatronic shark, and that they didn't use it in a lot of scenes because of that. But like the suspense to build up to it was so good that I didn't even really
Right.
notice.
Yeah, you didn't think, oh, I haven't seen the shark yet.
Yeah, exactly. You only need to see that like POV shot
Oh
to get
yeah,
it.
and then when it sucks or pulls the
Yeah,
big
dude.
barrels down,
Yeah. Oh, that was so good. Oh, that was
that's when you
so
know
good.
it's powerful. You're like,
Yeah.
damn.
And it was at 3 barrels on it. Yeah, come on. It was so
Yeah. And
good.
he's like, we're gonna need a bigger boat
Yeah, we sure are.
when it comes up.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was such a great film. And it ends like it's all of a sudden. Like they're just driving, they're going back to shore, and it's like directed by Steven Spielberg. Oh,
Wow.
fantastic.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So you kind of answered. I mean, we've kind of talked about a lot of your inspiration, but what would you say inspires your creativity like daily now?
Um, I think I get inspired by a lot of things. I think I often hear a lot of like remixes to songs that people will often speed up songs and slow down songs and things like that, or make remixes of two songs that or mashups, I guess, of songs together that you wouldn't necessarily think of together. That really I find inspiring. I find like covers and things really inspiring, especially if they're in a completely different style of the original. I love to hear dumb songs or dumb, like cutesy type songs be made into like cinematic, like with like full orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I find that to be so fun. I mean, I think what's so cool about music is that you can take it and run with it and really to hear for a while when I first got on like TikTok and stuff like that, it was just me making um covers, like little cute lullaby almost music box covers of, like anime openings and like video game songs and K-pop songs and whatever song was like trending. So that keeps me like, hearing that as well when people, do that kind of style is really, really, really fun to see. Yeah, and I mean, and new music is constantly all coming out, so it's amazing to see, and it's inspiring to see all the innovation people make with, pop music. And I feel like, I mean, something I heard at Berkeley was that with pop music, you're not trying to like reinvent the wheel, you're just modifying it slowly over time.
Hmm.
Um, so you're not making a new wheel, but instead the wheel is like, you know, it in terms of pop music, it's a little bit more grunge for right now, or
Yeah.
it's changing to be I mean right now there's a little, I mean not really, but there's a little bit of like 90s house and like just house style influences coming more into the mainstream, which is really cool. Um but so seeing people work on the wheel is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how people can make it their own but still be successful
Yeah.
is something I find really inspiring because that's the whole thing is um, I like to see people succeed when they're being like egregiously and aggressively themselves,
Yeah.
and finding a niche, market within the pop culture bubble is
Yeah.
really, really cool and really inspiring.
Yeah. The like when I was younger, whatever, uh, Guitar Hero influenced a lot of my friends and I's musical taste.
Yeah, yeah.
And recently, I don't know if you saw this documentary, but the Woodstock '99
Oh
documentary
yeah, I saw that.
that like brought like new metal and all this other stuff back
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh
and I
my
was
god,
like,
that was
yeah, it
crazy.
was crazy. It was like Lord of the Flies.
No, yeah,
Um,
it was everyone for
but
themselves.
anyways, it's interesting how these things will influence because, like you said,
Yeah,
grunge and whatnot is now
yeah,
coming back.
yeah,
A lot of it, I feel like, comes through these movies or documentaries or whatever.
yeah. Exactly. What is kind of
Brings it to
in?
the mainstream and like, oh, I forgot all about this, and then
Yeah,
people go reload because I know that happened to me when I
yeah,
watched that documentary. I was like, this is so absurd. I went and studied all the different bands
yeah.
because I was like, how this is like a perfect storm of
All of these.
horrendousness or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's so interesting as well to see. I mean, movies a lot of these days as well are the soundtrack. I mean, they have kind of more control than ever to create like the Barbie movie soundtrack is so completely tailored to that movie. I think that's so cool. People wrote songs like Charlie XCX is on it. There's like a Billie Eilish song that was like it's debuting on this album. Like, uh,
Did you say Jamie XX or the XX?
Charlie
Charlie
XCX.
XCX.
Yeah, like they're like movies can just. I feel like I don't know. Like when I think about like Twilight or something, they just kind of took a bunch of like songs and then put it on the soundtrack. But it's so cool to see movies that will just like make their own soundtrack out of thin air. Like Shrek. You know how Shrek is just like a bunch of like songs that already existed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean, the beginning credits, Smash Mouth. I'll never
yeah,
forget it.
yeah,
It's
and
like,
there'll never not be a Shrek song.
yeah,
You know.
exactly. Oh, I remember this from Shrek.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like, yeah, I don't know how I got on the topic, but Barbie's doing it. They're making a really cool thing.
Barbie. Yeah. So is there Barbie? There's a lot of Barbie movies right now.
They're making a big one. It's like Greta Gerwig.
Oh wow. I know.
Um
Great.
she did like Lady Bird, she did Little Women. She's like this really cool director, and she's making this Barbie film, and it has
It's live action.
live action Barbie. They're in
Whoa.
Barbie Town. Everything is pink. The marketing is insane. Um, it's Margot Robbie as Barbie.
Of course.
It's Ryan Gosling as Ken.
Ryan Gosling.
There's like all these Barbies. There's like
It's
I think like Issa Rae is like President Barbie. Like there's like all these like actresses
I
are
think
like
I've
I'm
seen
Dr. Barbie.
the credits or or
Yeah.
people have taken and memeified it or something.
Oh yeah.
Maybe, and I saw the meme and I didn't know what it was
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, it was like a starburst effects, and it was like this is Barbie, and then like it's Ken. It's like he's just Ken.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I've heard. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be so funny.
what? What's it gonna be rated?
I think
PG?
like PG.
Oh,
Well, the thing is, it comes out on the same day as Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
That's like
What
this
was that?
Christopher Nolan film
Oh
about the
yeah.
first like atomic bomb.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
like this like double feature.
It's gonna be a clash of crowds.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
going to see Oppenheimer.
And then you have the Barbie crowd, which is
Yeah.
wearing all
Yeah.
no, you gotta dress up. I want to see Barbie so bad.
Wow, is it? I'm guessing it's gonna be a summer flick, or
I think it comes out in like a week or two.
nice.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a movie in theaters in forever, so.
I saw Jaws in the theaters. It was at the Belcourt.
Oh, the Belcourt. I love the
Yeah, it
Belcourt.
was really cool.
Dang.
No, it made the whole
Yeah, I was
film
about to
so
say.
good. 'Cause it's so funny, and
then you
everyone's
did
like,
get to see it, like.
yeah, and it's like, and there's jump scares and stuff too, and everyone's
yeah.
like, oh, it was everything.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and you get to hear the crowd react.
Yes,
I love watching.
exactly.
I'm like huge into Star Wars, so I'd go to like all of the pre-openings and all that.
Yeah.
And it's always amazing when the crowd like chants
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, and all those like moments that if you're sitting at home, when they're like, well, a character will come back from like the dead or something, and they
Yeah.
have a moment of standing there that is meant for everyone to just cheer.
Right.
But if you're at home, no one's,
that's true.
you're
You don't
just
feel
there.
the energy.
Yeah, you don't feel the excitement.
You hear someone laugh, and it makes you laugh because their laugh is funny or something.
Yeah,
and it makes
exactly.
You, like, God, they're cracking up.
Yeah, this is goofy.
Magnifies it.
I would have I don't think I saw any of like the Star Wars prequel trilogy in theaters, but that sounds like it'd be hysterical.
I was 12 years old, May 19th, 2005.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3.
Yeah.
I had my shirt on. I was
Yeah,
with my
ready
friend
to
Nick,
go.
ready to go. Parents dropped us off, whatever, sat at the very front.
Yeah.
Dude,
I can't
I was
imagine.
living it, man.
Yeah.
I had my Anakin shirt.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, maybe I should scar my face. It was like, because I was
That
like,
movie
he looks cool.
intense.
Yeah, it was
intense.
It's the only Star Wars movie that's
PG-13. Oh, really?
I mean, makes sense. I mean,
Yeah,
it was violent Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, and like the was it like Darth Grievous?
Anakin.
Yeah.
Darth Vader.
Well, like Darth Grievous
Palpatine.
is the one with the thing.
Oh, General Grievous.
Grievous.
Yeah.
And it shows like his like beating heart.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
He shoots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that was so cool. No, and the Darth Vader, the eye of the high ground.
I have the high ground.
Yeah.
I hate you. I hate you. Yeah, dude. I was like, that's when they're like, this is gotta be PG-13.
No, it's good. Yeah, no, this is good. No, I mean, yeah, he's like, he gets pushed into the lava, like, oh, dude. God.
And then he gets his arm chopped off, and like, he tries to jump. Yeah, and it's just,
he catches
Obi-Wan
on
fire.
To do it.
And then they had the surgery on him. Like,
that whole thing
on the table.
In the helmet.
Yeah. It's like,
that was
intense. Very intense.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Where's Padme? She died."
I'm so sorry, bud. Yeah.
No. Like.
Yeah, no, that was wild.
Man.
Absolutely wild.
Okay, cool. So, what would you say your strengths and weaknesses as an artist are?
Let's see. My weaknesses, I guess I'm like a procrastinator. But like I'm trying to get better at that. I also like, what I'm doing now is kind of trying to I'll often want to do everything myself. But that's not really conducive to like a good like
expansion.
Yeah, like I can't do everything myself, you know,
Right.
but I want to, and I want to, you know, but I kind of have to like realize that it's I have to kind of rely on other people, and you know, I just can't do everything. So that's kind of I've been making connections and things to try and get like a little bit of the burden off me. My very good friend Emily Cheverry was on your
Oh
podcast.
yeah.
I worked with her a lot for like for photography. She's fantastic, as well as like you know designing covers for like some of the album art and things like that. That's been really, really helpful. She designed my stickers. That was amazing. So yeah, I have my lovely friend Sierra.
Yeah.
Also she takes photos. We work together. Um, she's fabulous. CC. Um, yeah, so kind of I'm trying to get away from. I've been able to like I don't know, designate a little more so there's less on my shoulders.
Relieve control.
Yeah, because that's kind of my one of my weaknesses is trying to kind of, you know,
Take on too much.
take
Or
on too much. Yeah. So, um, yeah, so that's kind of my main thing right now is trying to, you know, I often, you know, uh, it's not really a weakness. It's more just like a fact of life. Sometimes I just get burnt out, and that's
yeah.
frustrating.
We're,
So,
we're human. Yeah.
yeah, so I get frustrated about that. If I was, you know, I not that I consider it a weakness, but I wish I didn't have to, you know,
We
I
gotta
wish
keep
that wasn't a
going.
thing that I could just grind and grind, but I can't. Strengths, I guess I can. I can work well under pressure. Um, I can just sit at a computer for hours. Um, Take little breaks every once in a while, but I can kind of stay focused. Um, you know, I'm like really creative and innovative. I'm always, you know, thinking about how to change my live setup and change, um, you know, my live performance. I'm always thinking of innovating and how to make things different um, or more like pleasing, I guess, to an audience. What's kind of difficult in using a bunch of MIDI controllers is they're not necessarily like it's hard to kind of uh, have pressing a button uh, like indicate to like a crowd what exactly I'm doing. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I've been trying to add a lot more, um, kind of more like uh, cues, I guess, into the set that can kind of show, okay, so now we're triggering this, you know, or I have like a drum pad, like a MIDI fighter that I put up with a bunch of like a custom drum rack, and you know um, I can color code them. So like some of the ones in some of the songs where it's like a big drum hit, I can make like flash red,
Oh, and
you
light up.
know,
Yeah.
so like
That's true. Yeah. Like
yeah,
let them know when to participate or like
yeah,
kind
or
of
like to
like.
know what's actually because like one time I had someone tell me after a show they're like I had no idea what you're doing, but it looked cool. I was like, okay, well, thank you. I want you to kind of have an idea, you know, like or like you know what a fader is doing. So yeah, I'm always like thinking about what I can do differently. I mean, a weakness, I guess, could go along with that is that I'm like very critical of like myself and like how I'm like, you know, I'm always thinking of things I can do better. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I'm just innovative. I always want to learn about what other people are doing and how they're doing it. Um, there's, I mean, like I said earlier, like there's so much innovation to be had. I don't have any like uh, qualms about like just wanting to learn everything, you know. And if there's someone I admire, I'm very curious about how they do what they do and how different it is from my process. And um, yeah, I just love learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your process for learning now? Do you have books or do you
I'll watch videos a
videos?
lot. Um, I'll often look at videos of people talking about plugins and things like that. um, or even just like about like the Ableton stock ones that I didn't know, because the ones um, that I use a lot, for the most part, I'm like self-taught, so um, there are a lot of really really cool. Uh, it's called Max for Live. They're basically like these plugins, or they're basically just like things you can download into Ableton that like they come with like your how you install it. So you just kind of have to get them off the Ableton website and load them in. And those are really really cool. So that kind of takes um, your effects to kind of the next level. So I get really into that. And when I watch people talk about plugins, I kind of, even if I don't have the plugin itself, I kind of hear what it's doing to the sound and see if I can replicate that with stock ones, which sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Yeah, I'll listen to a lot of music, a lot of electronic music, and kind of see like, um, or try to listen to see how they do things. And um, I watch a lot of like, I'm really into like Sean Wasabi. He's like this artist who uses a MIDI Fighter 64 in a really really cool way. Um, he has a lot of videos where he'll hook up um, basically MIDI to like household objects and things like that, and triggering them like having a like pumping like a lotion top will make a kick, that kind of thing. So seeing um, the things you can do with MIDI, and uh, as well, like the way he even uses the like MIDI Fighter 64 is he'll have like two people on it, one person playing a melody, one person playing like a counter melody at the same time. Um, he'll play with like chopsticks. I don't know. I think
Wow.
there's like I watch him a lot, honestly, especially with like MIDI fighters because he's so innovative with it. Um, yeah, no, I really want to find out how to do the like connecting cables to like everyday objects, and
Yeah.
like I want to get like an old like phone or something and like click like the little things, or like if you could do like a almost like a slide whistle effect with the ones that you like turn all the way. You know what I mean?
I think so.
Or like the those telephones where you have to like stick your
Oh, the
finger in
turn
and go.
dial. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
can you imagine if you used that as like a whammy bar or something? Like I
Wow.
want to get
That
into
would be
like,
fun.
yeah, I want, or like
Nice
a
little
pitch
noise.
mod or something.
Yeah.
Like I would love to get into like using
Or
like,
have like a lamp pull.
yeah, or like being able to trigger all kinds of things with all kinds of different objects. I think that's my next adventure, I guess.
Wow. Yeah, that would be fun to watch
Yeah,
that on stage too.
yeah.
Be more like visually.
Yeah, because right
Yeah.
now when yeah, if I could just like pull a lamp lever and have it be something really cool, that would be a whole, another viewing experience.
Press a button, little confetti cannon shoots.
I would love to do a t-shirt cannon at
Yeah,
some
that would
point.
be
That
sick.
sounds so funny. Yeah, right now I
T-shirts
have
or
like,
stickers, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, I have like my setup right now is like a wooden TV
Wow.
that my lovely friend Mary Elizabeth helped me make. She made it. I gave her like she really did it. It looks amazing. It has like this like white canvas uh in the TV part that you can project onto. So I'm kind of like I make little like or I'm in the process of making some like acid house 90s looking like warpy type videos to project onto the screen so it looks like a working TV.
Wow.
So yeah.
That would be. Do you have that like? Are you like behind it?
Yeah, so it has two like wooden panels that flap outwards, and then I put my table right in
Oh,
it.
oh, okay.
So I have like all of my stuff on top of the table, but it's all surrounded by this TV.
Wow,
It's like black and white. It's cute.
that's awesome. What would you, or how would you best describe the type of artist you are?
I guess I would go with like I feel like lo-fi pop alternative, I guess would be a good 3 words. Um, Lo-fi pop alternative. I mean, electronic. Sometimes I'll say lo-fi pop or like indie electronic sometimes. I think I like mainly stick with lo-fi. I like that kind of like slow, comfy sound that it has. Um, but I've like branched out of that a little bit. One of the songs on the EP is more like trance style. It has like a drop and everything, and it's like really cool. And I always wanted to make a song like that. Um, that one was like a yeah. That I from watching all those, most of the artists that I saw live in Detroit were a lot of those like future bassy type ones were or dubstep where it has like a big lead up and then like a crazy like bass drop and then everything went crazy. So I wanted yeah, I wanted to make something similar, not like the exact same, but something that kind of had that like element to it. So I was really, really happy to co-produce a song like that. Yeah.
Wow. What I like all your costumes you wear, like, especially your Teletubby one.
Thank you. Thank
like,
you.
That one's so awesome.
Thank you.
What inspired like you?
Well, that one was like I knew I wanted to dress up like a Teletubby. I knew that. I mm, I just like Teletubbies, to be honest. I really do. I wasn't sure which Teletubby I wanted to be. I was thinking of Tinky Winky, which is the purple one, but then I got this pair of like fuzzy green, like slippers, like UGG slippers, and they're like hideous. Like I love them so much though, but they're like so goofy looking. But they're like this light lime green. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I need to be Dipsy. Dipsy is the like green one. Um, so yeah, I got the costume and then I like had to like hem the pants so they didn't like go all the way down my feet. So they're basically like capri pants, but they go down all the way to my foot. And it's like yeah, so I like that they have like a TV on them. They have like a TV on their belly. I felt like that made sense. Yeah, I got the head and I put like I had these 2 little piercings. I put these 2 big piercings on the one ear. Yeah, I just love Teletubbies. I like doing a little reference. Yeah. I don't know. Like these like little dots under my eyes are like a little like Bjork reference. Like her first like her debut album. It's a picture of her going like this. Like I think it's like this. And she has these 2 little dots under her eyes. I wore a Kirby headband to one performance where I made this like I got the headband first, and then I made a Kirby like a remix of this one Kirby song called Green Greens, and then I performed that live because I kind of wanted to wear the Kirby headband. I didn't have to do all that, but I wanted to. So yeah, I'll put together little outfits to kind of like you know, there was really no reason for the Teletubby. It was my own like personal little show, and I was like, why don't I like jazz it up? Why don't I wear a Teletubby costume? And yeah, I'm so glad I did. It's like such a fun little outfit.
Where'd you get it?
Online. Yeah, I just got it online. It came with like shoe accessories, like just like that fabric that goes around your shoe. I knew I didn't want to do that because I was going to wear my lovely, lovely UGG slippers. And then it came with gloves, but there was no way I was going to do that either because I need to use my little hands. So, yeah, it was like $50, but I do it again. I feel like I might as well have the whole set. Yeah. You know?
I'd say you had more. I thought it was much more expensive than that.
It might have been like 60, but
like it looks amazing.
Thank you so much. It's my pride and joy. I think it's so fun. Yeah, mostly it probably was stemmed from them having a little TV on their belly.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty on brand. You know, a lot of the times where I'll do little like outfits, they're based on either artists I really like or some kind of like, you know, nostalgic type thing like Kirby or like the Teletubbies. Yeah, I'd like to get into like anime outfits too. I think that'd be fun if I had just like a little like you know
wardrobe.
Yeah, cute little like performance gear fit.
Yeah.
That kind of like because I feel like I'm performing, you know, behind a TV. I should have some kind of like TV-ish, something from TV on. some kind of reference to something like that, I think makes sense to me in my head. So
That'd be crazy if on the Teletubby belly you had like a screen.
see,
Just
yeah, like if I really wanted to get into it, I could get into it.
yeah,
You
you
know?
just walk around and it has like
Yeah.
it
Or like
goes with the song.
because you could put like, yeah, you could absolutely rig that up.
Take an
Yeah.
old LCD, I don't know, or something.
You
Yeah.
could, yeah, like I mean,
Oh,
an iPad with like a little thing over it,
oh yeah,
that could work.
that's true.
Yeah, I think I want to just try and get into little like
Stage, you gotta get in. Yeah,
I
this
want to,
the
yeah,
stage.
I want to
Just,
try it. Or like, yeah, I feel like, yeah, mostly I'm trying to get into like anime ones. I think that'd be really cute.
yeah, like
Um,
which anime one?
I want to get it. There's this outfit from um this show Hunter x Hunter. The main character Gon wears this little like green shorts and like long sleeve, almost like jacket combo that I think is really cute. Mostly like looking at also just like I guess blonde anime characters to make it more like fitting, I guess. I would love to get into some Naruto outfits. Uh, yeah, I kind of some Dragon Ball Z outfits. Oh, Sailor Moon. I want to get a Sailor Moon outfit
Oh
really
yes,
bad.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cute. I almost got one for Bonnaroo, and then it didn't like time out that I could get it delivered.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that would be perfect. Yeah. Um, other like childhood nostalgia ones, I think I'd probably get into. I don't know. There's a lot of shows that I like that I don't think have like a really good costume. Like I love Invader Zim, but how would I make
Sim.
that work? You know,
You could be
it could be Gurr.
Gurr.
You could do Gurr. Yeah, yeah. I could probably find
Invader
like a.
Zim, dude.
I
That show is
love Invader Zim. I stole my personality from that little weirdo.
when the freaking he looks out the window and the squirrel thinks that the kid's head is an acorn. That was like one of the most messed
Yeah,
up episodes I've
yeah.
ever
That
seen.
shows. No, I watched that show. I
He
watched like
stares.
Ren and Stimpy. Like I watched the
Oh
like
yeah, dude.
crazy shows. Like
Yeah,
no business watching
yeah.
anything like
Courage the
that.
Cowardly Dog.
Yeah, yeah, terrifying. Like, yeah, I watch that all the time. We did like, I love Invader Sim though.
Oh yeah.
It's so fun. It's messed up.
He stares at the sun.
Yeah,
My
they
eyes.
absolutely like.
Go
It's so gross. It's such a gross show. There's the one with the lice. Do you remember the lice one?
Maybe.
It's like the kids get lice and they go underneath the school and there's like a giant like cavern full of like these like giant lice monsters that are like eating the kids.
Oh,
Yeah, made me afraid of lice. For sure took a lot of showers after that. It's a cautionary tale.
wow.
Yeah.
That show, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The 90s TV shows.
And like I watched a lot of movies too that I watched like The Matrix when I was so young.
Oh yeah.
That movie's terrifying.
Yeah. Plugs in the back of
Yeah,
your
and he
head.
wakes up in the like yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he has to
Yeah. No, I watched Alien when I was really young. I think that it just created who I am today, honestly.
right.
But I'm thankful for it. I think it's a cool movie.
I remember watching Halloween as a little kid. My mom was like, "These are classics. We'll watch them."
Oh
and we
yeah.
watched them all in one day or whatever, and I was terrified for what now. Until I got older and realized how far fetched it is.
Yeah.
But as a child, I was terrified. I was like, Michael Myers is gonna get me.
Yeah, yeah. He's around the corner.
Yeah,
and he's unstoppable.
He's unstoppable.
Yeah, there's nothing.
A shotgun to the chest doesn't kill him.
He can fall off. Didn't he like fall out of a window at the end?
Yeah,
and then he's fine. He's
yeah, and then he disappears.
No, I didn't grow up with those movies, thank God, because he's unstoppable. There's nothing you can do about it. At least the alien, you can like throw it out of an airlock.
Yeah,
that's an option, but to get there is a whole nother
deep space.
Yeah, yeah,
scary,
terrifying.
Even there's this YouTube channel I'd follow, and you can listen to the waves that come off each planet. So you can hear, then they put it through the, hertz or whatever, so we can hear it. So when the sound sounds so eerie, it's like, it's like this weird, drone humming. It's like, and the sun, so cool. The sun sounds so weird. It's it's like, I mean, you gotta check.
Yeah, no, I got it. That sounds amazing.
So how long have you been in Nashville now?
Around 3 years. 3 years, because I moved down here in 2020, and did basically Berkeley went online for the pandemic, so we my roommate got a internship down here during that summer, and we were all going to live together like the next year, but because of the pandemic, we kind of didn't need to live in Boston, if everything was going to be online, and Boston's really expensive.
Yeah.
So she ended up connecting with this girl that lived down here, and they had like 2 open rooms. So I stayed here and I did school online for a while. And then kind of after a while, it kind of became like one of my big draws for Berkeley was using their equipment room and having access to all the hardware, the synths, the MIDI the like not MIDI fighters especially, but like the like MIDI controllers, all the Akai, and yeah, the push, the Ableton push. So not being able to have access to all of that was really like hard, because it was kind of, to me, like what I was really there for,
The
the
resource.
resources to all of that. And also, there's only so much you can. I took a lot of like production classes and things like that, but a lot of stuff I was doing was like live, electronic performance and live effects and things like that. So doing that online was a little difficult. It kind of just took me out of it a little bit. Like, it took like even like a finger drumming class, and what we would do in class was play it live along with the professor, and
Oh,
add little things and almost like a little improv style jam. But when that went online, it didn't really have that same feel to it. So it was just difficult. So I ended up taking. It's been like a gap year for like a year and a half now, and I'm
okay.
pretty sure gonna continue my gap year,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna work on music and do my own thing.
Okay. So eventually maybe finish, maybe not.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So what like initially brought you to Nashville? Why did you decide, you know?
It was kind of on a whim. I had never visited here. My roommate, I wanted to live with her somewhere. We were looking at like Chicago, or like I she's kind of from Kentucky, so it was a little closer to where she was from. Honestly, I do things on a whim, to be honest, and it just kind of.
You came her sight unseen.
Yeah, I had never visited the Berkeley campus before I moved there. Um, and then that turned out good. And then I figured I kind of get like an itch when I stay somewhere too long.
Hmm.
So I was staying at home with my parents in like the summer-ish of 2020, and then I had the opportunity to go and live with my friend and be independent. So I just took it, and I guess there wasn't. I never really pictured myself down here, but I do like it. I like it a
Yeah.
lot.
I like the commitment.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Like, I just kind of like fly by the seat of my pants a little bit, but I mean, I made a lot of friends down here. My roommates right now, I still live with my friend who I met at Berkeley, and our roommates we met down here, and they're really lovely. I've made so many friends. Like, I probably would have never met Emily. Emily was one of the first friends I made outside of my friend group. Like, when I moved down here,
Yeah.
I met her and her roommate, and yeah, I've made so many lovely friends. So I think that's what keeps me here, to be honest. Like, I mean, I enjoy. There's so many places around here that I love. Yeah, Nashville is a really cool place.
I've met several or plenty of Berkeley people that have come down here.
Yeah, that's what's weird, is like it's like a
I
lot
know.
of people go to either. I thought people went to New York or LA after Berkeley, but yeah, you find a lot of Berkeley grads here, and it's I mean, not confusing, but I didn't expect
Right.
any to come down here, because a lot of them they're instrumentalists, but I don't think they have that much interest in country per se.
No.
But there's a lot of really cool jams of like all kinds
Yeah, like
down here,
I've
psychedelic rock, and
definitely
yeah,
different genres.
bluegrass, and there's everything.
Punk.
So
There's
yeah,
yeah, I've like gone somewhere and been like I met someone like, yeah, I went to Berkeley. wait, he went to Berkeley, and I went to
Yeah,
Berkeley, and then like we're
yeah,
all friends here, and we all knew each other back at Berkeley, and we all came down here,
yeah.
and
What's
it's like
weird,
they're
even
all
weirder.
tribes.
Yeah. What's weirder is going down here and meeting someone from Berkeley that went to the school at the same time as you, but you never met each other. That
Oh,
happens a lot where I'm like, oh, like you were like just like one separation away from meeting you. Like I met a bunch of people right when I moved down here, and yeah, they were like a friend of a friend, but I never met them,
wow,
and then we became friends when we moved down here.
yeah,
So yeah, it's weird. It's weird finding the little connections every once in a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that they're. I mean, y'all are coming down here. Makes it more
Yeah.
vibrant, more,
I think so. Yeah.
more. There's more. I don't know. I guess technique and a lot of stuff driven behind
Yeah.
everyone's craft. They're like, we've.
Yeah. No one yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Berkeley people, I mean, it's all I haven't really a lot of them when I was there really were jazz focused, but I haven't really seen a lot of jazz down here
That makes
that much.
sense.
Everything was like it was like jazz harmony and like a lot of jazz composition classes.
That makes sense.
Um, so, but I've seen some like funk jams and things like that.
Yeah,
But not a lot of like jazz since I've been down here, to be
yeah.
honest.
I haven't unless I go to Rudy's Jazz Room or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I haven't been over there in a while.
Mhm.
Okay, so what would you say is something you've learned living here?
I think something that is unique, I guess, from my experiences elsewhere, in Nashville, I guess, is that people are like wanting to help you and be like, when they say, yeah, let's do this, they're like, you can take them up on that offer, you know? Something that I felt at Berkeley was that it was very competitive. Um, so something that I've learned down here is that, you know, you can ask for help and you can uh, like receive help like very easy. And I think that was it was like that in Boston, but it was just so like I don't know. I was very much in my own head when I was there, and kept my head down and really just like tried to just hone my skills and things like that. But the people I've met here like genuinely like want to help you, and that's really nice. And that there's people out there that want to help you, and they're not and they have connections to other people that they are absolutely frothing at the mouth to introduce you to.
Right,
Like they want you to meet their friends and they want you to, you know, they have a friend that works here and if you ever want to get into a show, just text me and that's legitimately the truth.
right,
You actually text them and they're like, "Okay, cool, you'll be on the list."
right.
Um yeah, especially in like the performance venue like world. It's people are so nice and they're so accommodating and if you legitimately like if they are working that night, then yeah, they can absolutely help you out. Um, yeah, people are very nice. That was something that was kind of a shock when I came down here, to be honest.
Yeah, friendly,
People are very friendly.
genuine for the most part. Like if
Yeah,
they say they're going to do something, usually they'll follow
usually
through
they're gonna do it.
because everyone's going to be held accountable. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Well,
Here,
yeah, if I get a connection for a friend and they blow me off. Like, yeah, like come on, come
yeah,
on. No, for the most part, like yeah, people are pretty honest about stuff. So that's been a lesson, I guess, that I mean, you can also even if they're not being sincere, like taking them up on it is like absolutely within your rights. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Like if someone says they're going to do, they can help you out and then,
They don't.
they don't, then that's I mean, it is what it is, but you're absolutely like welcome to like ask, you
Right,
know,
right.
before it,
Call them out,
yeah, call them out or be like, "Hey, can I, you said that." And then if they say no, it's like whatever, but
and then you say, "Oh, I thought you were serious when you
yeah, you
said that."
absolutely said that.
Yeah.
Like it took you because yeah, I'll do that a lot now too. I'll be
So
like, "Are you serious? You're serious?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm serious." I'm like, "Okay, we're serious, seriously then."
yeah,
Yeah, like seriously. And yeah, 90% of the time they're like, "Yeah, no, I'm dead serious." Okay, that's good.
raise your right hand.
Yeah, like I want a pinky swear.
Right. Okay, cool. So, where's your favorite place to play in Nashville?
Ooh, I've played a lot of like house venues. Probably the most fun I've had is this place called the Burque House. It's a house venue.
Burque.
Burque, like Burque. It was so fun. I played. Yeah,
I love house shows.
they make like food every single time. Like one time I
Wow.
went there and they had spaghetti. Another time they'll have soup. They'll have like just kind of like a big family style meal, and it's really really lovely.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really really cool. I play at like the East Room a lot. I'll be playing there like a couple times, like in the next like month, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the East Room. Honestly, I really enjoy house venues. I like kind of that,
Intimacy.
yeah, and I like venues where they're able to really like uh, I feel like my music is at its best when it's like um, really like mixed kind of well, and like the bass is really able to shine. And when I went to the Burque House, it was like so much bass, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, kind of taught me to be like, okay, I need to ask for more bass in the future because it's something I didn't necessarily ask for, but it just like they just did it, and I was like, this is amazing. Yeah, because there's so much lower end that you miss when you don't showcase it.
Right.
So yeah, I really really enjoyed that place. Yeah, I like there's so many places that I still want to go to in Nashville. Um, I would love to play it like Dark Matter. I
Yeah.
love Dark Matter a lot. I've gone to a lot of shows in Nashville, so it's like I can't help but then you know while I'm watching the show, be like, I wonder how I could work here, or if I could work here. Um, yeah, yeah. I want to
Cool.
play at Pride or something. That'd be cute.
Yeah.
Um, somewhere like I don't know. I think it'd be funny to play on Broadway, but I don't think I ever want to do it.
Right.
I think it'd be funny to
Play on
have
the
us up
third
there.
floor of
Yeah.
what's his Kid Rock's
Yeah, I think
Honky
that would be
Tonk.
so goofy to play like an electronic set of like
Yeah.
not something literally nobody knows. I think
Right.
that'd be so funny. Playing my little twinkly ass. Yeah, I think that'd be so funny.
Have a tip jar out there.
Yeah. No, someone would like definitely throw a drink on all my stuff, and I get
Yeah, that's true.
I have to have like a splash screen.
Yeah, a splash guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if that was in case, I would absolutely do it. It'd be silly and goofy.
Like,
And I'm wearing a Teletubby costume.
oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We'll give you $200 for the Teletubby costume
Like,
just to wear
absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, or like, yeah, we have bachelorettes in the house.
Yeah,
I'd love to work the room. It'd be
it.
funny.
We'll give you. It's $20 for a shout out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's whose birthday? Okay, $50. We'll
Mhm.
do it.
You all sing happy birthday
Yeah,
20 times.
and
I
a
don't care.
Teletubby shit.
Yeah.
They'll love that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What is some advice you would give to someone who's going to move here and do art?
I don't know. I think I was able to make friends pretty quickly. I think there's so many cool independent artist spaces that that you should explore. Um, I would recommend. There's a whole bracket of house shows and house venues that I think you should absolutely look into, especially if you're looking to make friends. People here are very nice. Um, there's all kinds of even like student and like I guess not purely student, but independent artists that throw, galleries and things like that all over the place. And um, if you're trying to get in touch with more artists, that's absolutely what I would recommend. There's so many venues as well that just local artists play at that are so good if you're looking for that kind of thing. New artists to listen to. I would recommend. I don't know. I think like exploring East Nashville is fun. I think there are a lot of places that are not so fun in Nashville, but it depends on what you're about. If
Right.
you really like country and you really like live music and you really like beer, absolutely. Broadway is so fun. But if you're,
Or go to American Legion.
yeah, or I mean, there's like Santa's Pub. There's so
Oh
many like
yeah,
little I mean,
Ryan's East Side.
that's what I would tell. Honest to God, if I was giving someone advice, I would say look for those like small little bars like that are just one of a kind. Even if you're not really big into drinking, just like for just people watching and like playing duck machines and just kind of like get into darts. You'll make some friends playing darts.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't played so much darts in my life since I moved down here.
Oh yeah.
Straight up, I played a little bit as a kid, but I never played like cricket or anything. Not good at it, but it's fun. Like it's
Right.
Darts and pool. Like I would recommend getting good at that, or even just getting confidence enough to play. Yeah, no, those little ask people also what they really like and what their favorite place is, because for the most part they're not going to say like my favorite food in the city is Hattie B's. They're going to
Right.
give you somewhere that's like niche. um Go to Dino's at like midnight.
Yeah.
Like I would recommend like little goofy side adventures that everyone ends up doing. Yeah,
Go to
there's
Duke's.
yeah, go to Duke's, get a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I go to Lakeside and we have ducks, so many ducks in our house. They have a duck machine. That and Cobra. The Cobra has a duck machine that's also
Oh yeah, the Cobra. Dude.
Fabulous duck machine.
I've only got one duck. I gotta up my duck game.
We'll for a while there when we were so into it, we would like crowd around it. Some person right here, some person right here, and then we would like look to like see if it was like matching up like horizontally and vertically to where the duck is. Very high success rate.
Down to the science.
We have so
Present
many.
now.
Exactly, right now. And then we get it and we're like, okay, next one. Yeah, we like wanted to get every single one. We have a good collection.
Man, just to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, we get a drink and everything, but like, I mean, Cobra has like a wide selection of ducks.
Oh yeah,
like
that big
machine. Wedding ducks, like Minecraft ducks, like it's but that one's harder because it's like a looser like
grab.
It doesn't it has a looser grab.
Well,
so that one, even if you're like it's a toss up.
The ducks.
Yeah, I'd recommend getting into ducks.
Start collecting.
How much
ducks.
do you like ducks? Yeah.
All right. So, reflecting back since you first started, what is one of the biggest challenges that you've overcome as an artist?
I think self-confidence, to be honest. To even like pursue this, it took like it's one of those things where like the biggest like hurdle to get over was like myself, I guess. Like I like went into a career that I knew was like a plan B, because I didn't think I was like good enough. But then at the end of the day, like I don't care, like if it makes me happy, then that's what I'm gonna do. So I guess just kind of realizing what makes you happy and just going for it. Because I mean, everything else. I mean, I was extremely lucky to get into Berkeley, and I was extremely lucky to make the friends that I did. But it's like taking that first step to saying like, I can do it, is like such a big hurdle that no one really talks about,
Right. The decision.
Like, decision to even get there. Cause like, you can, choosing a DAW is hard, like, what kind of style you want, all that kind of stuff. But even just like having the courage to put yourself out there is really, really hard.
Yeah.
So, that's such a big hurdle that, you can absolutely, it's just hard to.
It's a muscle that has to be worked.
Yeah. Yeah. And even to this day, like I'm still, it's something you obviously, I mean, everybody struggles with if they're good enough or what they're doing is even worth it or all that kind of stuff. But just kind of, I mean, moving blindly forward is pretty much what I've been doing the whole time. And
walk by faith, not by sight.
Exactly. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, I would never know if I didn't try.
Right.
So yeah, I'm a big believer in just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And and if you idolize someone and if you really like, a music or really an artist, kind of something that's really nice is kind of figuring out how they tick.
Yeah, what they do.
and even having the courage to kind of reach out to them and things like that as well. Like, yeah, yeah. No, I wasn't gonna get Ableton. I was gonna get Fruity Loops.
Oh yeah.
But because I had two artists that I really really liked, and one of them used Fruity Loops, and the other one was and Res uses Ableton. So I was like, going with Res. So I got Ableton, and that was literally on like I trust this. I've never met her. I trust this woman with my life, though. And if she uses Ableton and that's how she's doing it, then I'm gonna learn everything I can about Ableton. Yeah.
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 It's good to have mentors.
Yeah, even if they're kind of like
Distant.
Imaginary.
Imaginary, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, imagine that they're
yeah, what would they do?
guide
Exactly.
you.
Yeah, because I mean, I had like a cracked version of Ableton when I was like in high school, and it was like Ableton like 6, or it was like
I
old.
remember that.
It was so old, and it was like, it was wild. I only really did like the drum racks and things like that to try and go like, and it was just, it was like the most silly little drum patterns, like boom, get, get. So, but yeah, no, I wouldn't have gone past. I wouldn't have, I looked at Logic, but I was like, no, listen, I love her music, and if she's able to make it on it, then I'm taking a leap.
Awesome. What would you say is your biggest personal growth from last year to this year?
I'm more like unapologetically myself, I guess. I mean, there's also that element of being able to ask for help and really like get into collaborations and things like that I'm really really excited to get into. But that was something that I didn't do a lot last year. I'm even looking at booking a bunch of shows all over the place. Like that's a big growth as well, to kind of have the confidence to, and the like not intuition, initiative to kind of look at those things and ask places if I could
being
show
tenacious.
Up. Yeah. So but as well, like I have come a long way in terms of like my like gender identity. I'd say is one thing that I've grown a lot over the past year. Like setting boundaries and that kind of thing, and kind of realizing like my place in the world and how I'm willing to interact with people. Like even writing a song like about it, like In the Grass is one of the songs, or the only song I really wrote about like being non-binary, and it like even to put that out there was such a big like looking back on it, I probably would have never like wrote something that personal and like put it out. So the fact that I'm kind of able to make songs that are like really really real to me, because in the beginning I really didn't want to write any really sad songs or depressing songs ever, and to this day I really don't, but I have gotten used to writing songs that are kind of sad but are a little like, they're not like slow sad.
But we're gonna dance anyway.
Exactly, right? So like In the Grass is like this 8-bit retro pop punky type guitar style song. So even though it has kind of like a saddish like subject matter about like saying like fuck you to everyone and living as yourself, it still isn't violins and 100 beats per minute and just kind of like I didn't want it to be like that. I wanted to, at least if it was sad, it was like angry sad, like something behind it.
We will overcome.
Yeah. Exactly. So being able, that's something I've kind of like grown into, is not being afraid to like say what I want and set boundaries the way that I want. Even in how I express myself via art. So yeah.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Self-respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. How do you consume media? Do you like to watch YouTube?
Yes.
What do you like to watch on YouTube?
Well, I watch like, like streaming shows and all that kind of stuff. YouTube, I love finding out about something that I had no idea anything about. I had like no idea about anything, like video essays.
Oh yeah.
I'm such a fan of video essays. Even something that like I like lived through, like like the like shows kind of like explained or something, like a retrospective on this show that I watched as a teenager. I'm there. And it's like 2 hours long. Like, yeah, I want to know everything, every
Yes.
single thing about it. Even though I watched it and I like lived through like it coming out, like I still, there's so much to learn
Oh yeah.
and like relearn because you haven't thought about like, yeah, I haven't thought about that show in forever. Or I love to watch like video game explained
Oh.
for video games that some video games that I have played, some like Nintendo games, especially like Pikmin. There is like so much lore about it. There's like you basically go around finding like little items. You're like it's you're set as like a little guy, and you have all these little Pikmin, and they like pick up treasure, and the treasure like a battery, right?
Huh.
Like something like this big, but to like you playing the game, it's huge. You
Wow.
know?
You're in like a big world as a little
Yeah. So
person.
you're very little. So you're collecting these treasures, and all these little treasures. A lot of them are like little in-game or like Nintendo like lore kind of things. Like Nintendo used to be a like a card game company. Like that's how they got started. So there's all these little like Nintendo cards or like Nintendo like really old versions of like electronic devices that are like you know. Anyways, that being said, I'll get into those videos where it's like deep dive. Also, video games I have no interest in playing and will never play. Like I've never had an Xbox. I'm never gonna play Dead Space. That being said, do I know everything about Dead Space? Yeah, I do. I do. Or have I played any of the Resident Evil ones? No. But I've watched like a 4 hour video about the entire like timeline of it and
Wow.
every single different variant of the. It's some kind of virus, whatever. The like
What turns everyone into the zombies?
yeah, it's like yeah, it's I mean, the thing is I go a deep dive in it and then when it's done, it's like I close a book and I put it on the shelf. And then I don't remember anything about it until like I go back and like, okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I consume a lot of that kind of just explain type media where it's um, you know, going really in depth on something that might not like isn't necessarily like a serious subject or like a you know, nonfiction, but something like a TV or media or game, or uh, like phenomenon in pop culture. Like I just watched one about like the rise and fall of like teen dystopian novels in
Oh.
pop culture and things like that, and how they came to rise and then how they kind of trickled out over time. Um, yeah, a lot of like nostalgia pieces mostly. Um, yeah, I love to hear about video games that have existed like for the longest time that I never actually got into. And with these games that have spawned decades, like there's so much. Or like I've read some of Lord of the Rings and I've watched the movies, but that's also like a wormhole. There's so much to
Oh
get
yeah.
into. Like
Even the
and
weapons have
yes, and there's lore. And
backstories.
I have nothing but time
Yeah.
when I want to just like sit and eat something, like I have nothing but time just to like just
Yeah. Phil
spill it. Yeah, because I
just
want to know everything, and it's like that's kind of like how I consume a lot of media is I um, I find something I really like, and I go into it, even if it's not like just ending explained or whatever explained. I'll watch a show and then learn literally everything I can about it, and like read the book and like do all this kind of stuff, and then I like bleed it until it's dry, and I find out everything, and then I'm like okay, and then I go on to something else. So it's like I go through phases of like a bunch of, and then sometimes time passes, and I'm like, oh my god, I haven't watched Avatar: Last Airbender in years, but that was like an old like hyperfixation. So I'll go back to it, and it's like relearning a whole new thing. And
oh
there's so much that has come from it, like since then, that it's like a whole nother wormhole. Yeah, no, I consume media like it's like water, like it's like lifeblood.
yeah.
I love pop culture, and I love um, finding out about um, everything. There's so much to learn about, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Being a child, everything's
but yeah. So what ends up happening is like I have like this random collection of knowledge that is so unuseful. But like every once in a while, like it comes out and like it's a trivia question. I know exactly what it is, but like no idea how I got there. You know, like there was a trivia question about like how tall Danny DeVito was, and I was like, he's 4'9", and he is 4'9".
He's 4'9".
He
Wow, I
is. He's
didn't
a
know he
short
was
man.
that short.
Yeah, but like that's swimming somewhere in my brain. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know.
It's something to draw from, though. It becomes like a
Well, yeah, when
little.
it comes to like references and having like, you know, especially with like music references, I can pinpoint songs that have the same chord structure and what songs can go over other songs because I have melodies just like stuck in my head. So when it comes to music, it's very like it's this like, you know, the memory works out because, you know, okay, this kind of sounds like this song that I heard forever ago, or and it has the same chords as this old Nintendo track, you know, and but how do you make those? How do you put those together?
Yeah.
It's hard. So, um, yeah, it's like everything. All of my references are just drawing from like a big old library of all this random stuff. Um, so yeah, I consume a lot of media. I love to read as well. I like, yeah,
What kind of books?
I like sci-fi
Oh,
novels.
okay.
I read a lot of. I'm getting into like kind of older classic sci-fi, like Ursula K. Le Guin, and even like what was one? A lot of short stories, honestly, and like like Hyperion, that book series. There's an adaptation coming out soon, but yeah, I pretty much looked up classic sci-fi novels and I went to McKay's and I found a bunch of them. So I have like I haven't read I, Robot yet, but I have I, Robot. I have a bunch of Ursula K. Le Guin novels. Um, I'm trying to picture. I have some like Neil Gaiman.
Okay.
I like Neil Gaiman. Um, I read a lot of manga as a kid. So I have some of that as well in my room. Yeah, I really just like I like science fiction. I like and like dystopia. I like it when they can take like some aspect of society and like turn it to 11 and make it um the entire book and the entire, you know, I think what sci-fi does is make you look at humanity in a different way.
Yeah. Takes
Which
one thing to the
to the
extreme.
extreme just to show how, you know, the like folly of man and things like that. I think is really, really interesting. Um, yeah. Yeah, I loved The Giver growing up.
The Giver.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that one.
Uh,
Um, yeah. But yeah, as a kid, I read almost exclusively nonfiction about animals and like uh, fossils and things like that. I was very, very much into. I would pick an animal. There's so many animals. There's so many rabbit holes to go down with that.
right.
Um, yeah, I would. I since I was a kid, I've just been finding little rabbit holes and learning everything I can, and then you know leaving, and then finding something else, and then doing it all over again, over and over and over and over. So the world is like endlessly exciting.
I know.
Right?
Pockets. You can.
There's so much to learn, and
Even if you liked this table, it's like there tables can be made millions and billions of ways.
yeah,
It's like everything it can be to the extreme.
yeah, yeah. No, it's. I mean, that just keeps me occupied. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I like think I just get bored, and then can find things that just, you know,
Fascinating.
yeah. There's so much fascinating, especially with, you know, I mean, yeah, music. Especially, there's so much about you know, the way that you're supposed to make music and your like theory and things like that. But then you see people do things against theory, and you get to witness how they can be successful despite not really, you know, going with the norm.
Right.
There's so many ways to almost like remix art, you know. Um, and that was kind of the reason I kind of got into making lo-fi and like kind of video gamey type sounds was being really distressed by taking a bunch of jazz harmony classes where everything is sometimes like is so complex, and chords go to one chord for a very particular reason, and some notes can only exist in some, like obviously like some notes can't fit in um, like some chords and some keys and everything. But sometimes watching people in jams was just playing really complex stuff just for the sake of playing complex stuff, and it sounds kind of nice. And when you're sitting there and you know exactly what they're doing, like it's kind of gives you a little bit of like a huh. But if you have no idea what it is, it's so inaccessible. So I kind of made a TikTok and I kind of started making just very simple little cute melodies and things like that because it just brought me joy, and I didn't have to think about them too much. They felt nostalgic, and they were tunes that I hadn't heard in years, and there's something so nice about that.
Yeah.
About just music that you can just listen to and not have to like be like, okay, that's a seventh chord over a whatever chord, and it's doing a subdominant progression over this. That stresses me out.
Right.
Yeah.
It takes the creative, like childlike joy out of the.
Well, for some people, it's very joyful.
Yeah, no, for
For
sure.
some people, it's very like that's how their brain works. For me, it's not how my brain works, though. It's like, yeah, it does kind of take the joy out of it. So that's why I kind of cling to like I really like pop music, and no one really at Berkeley liked pop music. It was all like too mainstream and everything.
Oh wow.
But yeah, and like making pop wasn't like cool. It was like
So they turn their nose up to that.
yeah, I was like, no, I like this indie pop band that was in the 70s and made one record.
It's
You haven't
obscure,
heard of it.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, cool. like, okay. Yeah, so I kind of found myself in like it was kind of isolating to be honest, because I mean, there's a little niche of electronic people as well, but for the most part, like I kind of had to look for those people. I didn't know a lot about jazz, and that felt very isolating. Um, so yeah, I just kind of had to go my own way for a while, and it worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice. Well, is there anything you would like to add that I might not have asked you about?
I don't know. I mean, I've had a lovely time. I drank all my coffee. Um, I don't know. I think I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. All right. Here's the last question. What is something absurd you'll ever do?
There's so much. There's so many. Absurd? Do you want to answer first? What's something obscure or absurd that you do?
Vacuuming.
You think it's absurd?
I mean, I think it's fun.
Oh, it's fun. Okay. Absurd and fun.
Because I I have a mobile car detailing business. And so I, detail people's cars.
It's satisfying. Yeah, to go around the car, especially in a car.
Just having your vacuum cleaner and
yeah,
yeah, it's absurd.
Like I think something that I really enjoy that is silly. Speaking of like lemurs, I like have watched so many videos of lemurs, and so many videos of like they are so funny when they like chew their food, like it's full on mouth, like up and down, like sometimes when I'm alone and I'm eating something crunchy, I'll do that just for fun.
Try to chew like one.
Like yeah, I'll be like fully like crunch, like mouth open and closed without any need for being like sophisticated about it. Or like have you seen like raccoons like eat like cat food and things like that? Like it literally they do the same thing where they like.
Oh.
So that's something silly I like to do every once in a while.
There was like a cat video recently where it was like eating an ice cube or something, and it was like,
oh yeah. Sometimes yeah, I think it's fun. I think you should try it.
And you see it's like
yeah, you just see your entire mouth go like. I think it's so silly, especially like I love to eat cereal. Like it's so silly just to eat like dry cereal, and you're just sitting there like. it's I don't know. It's something silly that I do enjoy. Or like when I get some of these, I get this specific Dunkin' with like it has like cold foam on top. I don't think I would like it nearly as much if it didn't give me like a little milk mustache when I drank out of it.
Oh.
I'll give myself a mustache and then just have it for like I'll be driving and I'll just be having it. I think that's so fun.
Have a little fun with you.
Yeah,
Now I'm this character.
there are little fun things to do
Yeah.
all the time of just like, I'm gonna, skip downstairs. I don't know.
I like taking a sip of the drink and then
Lately I've been like blowing on food that isn't hot before I eat it. Yeah.
blowing
like,
on your sushi.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it's just stupid. Like, it's just there's so many dumb little things.
Part of being a human, I guess.
Mm-hmm. You got to make yourself laugh.
Exactly.
You're not having a fun time.
Definitely. Well, thanks for coming over and doing this.
Thank you for having me. I've had a great time.